Good afternoon, everybody. This is Michael Leedahl from Maxar Technologies Incorporated, dealing with data-centric security demo for Testbed-16. And joining me today is
Andreas Matheus, representing Secure Dimensions, Munich, Germany.
Okay, and we were participants in the data-centric security thread of OGC's Testbed-16, and Andreas will give us a brief overview of the components involved.
So as we can see on the figure, we have three basic components that play the role in the desktop scenario. So we have the DCS server in the middle, which is deliverable 120. Then we have the DCS client, which is deliverable 121. And we have a key management server, which is deliverable 145. The client component is done by Maxar. The DCS server and the key management servers are done by Secure Dimensions for this testbed. To make sure that all the different components can work together, there is an authorization server that provides access tokens to the DCS client, to the DCS server and the key management server so that a shared state can be established. And we will see during the demo that the DCS client is using all three components, the authorization server, the DCS server, and the key management server to do the DCS related functionalities.
And now we'll switch over to the demo. Over here we have the QGIS plugin or QGIS client, and with our plugin for data-centric security. The server that we're going to access is the Secure Dimensions server up here. And we're going to ask for a DCS format coming back from the DCS server. And we are specifying what our signing key will be because the content will be digitally signed. And then we'll go against the Secure Dimensions KMS server as well to retrieve our features. So we'll start with our login. So this is just a login to access the OAuth. And then here is the actual OAuth login. I'm going to go to a particular provider that Secure Dimensions is providing for us and log in as Jane, who is kind of our power user. And it will just say I'm logged in, so I can go back to here, and now you can see that I have various layers. The first layer I'm going to load is the landmarks in New York City, Manhattan area. And we open up the attribute table. It takes just a second to load all the features. And you can see we have attributes for 80 features. And if we want to zoom to layer, we'll be able to see those 80 features. And then next we'll do the roads. And it takes a little bit longer to open up all the attributes for the roads because there's 8,333 roads. So, and then after we get the roads loaded, we'll load some points of interest. That will be relatively quick. There's only 6 points of interest. There's the roads. So now I can zoom to layer and add the roads. Let's change the styling on the roads just a little bit because that's very hard color to see. And then we will do the points of interest and we'll add those here. Again, I'll probably change the styling, make it more of a blue, darker blue color. Maybe I can get them to show up. And then we'll open the attribute table so that we can see those, and then zoom to layer so we can actually see the blue dots as they would appear on the imagery. Back and zoom to layer to get the full effect with our dots and our roads and our features. Now, as you could see, it was pretty seamless. It just displayed the content. We asked for the content and it displayed the content. But behind the scenes, there's a little bit more detail. And what we actually received was a signed JSON document. And using the Jose suite of things, in this case, a Java web signature format, base64 encoded. So you decode that, you get something like this, which we're making something similar to a feature class, a GeoJSON feature service, but we're doing it with a type that we're calling Standage 4778, which is based off of a NATO standard, which was an XML standard, and we just kind of adapted it to make it into a JSON standard that was a combination of that and a feature service. And then you would go down after all the link sections, you have the objects, and in the objects, instead of features, you have objects in this particular format. And then we have metadata about that object, which talks about classifications. And then we have the data, which is encrypted. And this is in a Java web encryption format. Or JSON web encryption format. If you decrypt that, then you get something like this, which is our typical GeoJSON feature. So that is kind of the overall thing, and I pretty much finishes our demos. Any last thoughts that you have, Andreas, on the subject?
No, thank you very much for joining us, and if you like it, tell other people. Thank you.
And that's the end for today.